better.
Honest, thank you for taking the time. Aside from doing press in the middle of work, still a good day for you?
Oh man, absolutely. I'm happy to be here, dude. Talk about cool shit.
Well, yes, congratulations on this new, what do we call it? Do we call it a film? A concert film? Is that the best way to call it?
Yeah, I would say so. We call it the movie. It's the tour travel tours, the movie, you know, or cinema experience or whatever you want to call it. But it's still like we recorded that together with the director Jens de Vos, who's been working closely with us for many years. You know, it's a real trust process like that, where he knows what we want, and we know what he can do. You know, and we also think it's important for him to do his thing. You know, and then we had it recorded, and they're like, how do you see a live concert in the best possible way if you couldn't be there yourself? Streaming? No. What about cinema? Can we make that happen? And here we are, you know, like freaking 1,300 cinemas later. So super stoked for it to come out in just a couple of days.
Yeah,
in Europe, that is. Yeah. Where are you from?
New York, USA.
New York, right.
So we get it October 30th and 31st. Halloween, right. Some people are going to be watching it. How long did you know that this film was going to be happening for? Because I know there was extra cameras that day when you were filming, but was the plan all along that this could be a theatrical project?
As far as I can remember, no. That kind of came in the process of doing it. But I mean, of course, the recording of the whole thing is a big project itself, you know, to choose what company you want to do it with. And, you know, we have Jens there and his team that we trust, and we are excited to have along on this thing. So it's a long process before, during, and post, you know, especially post, like to nail it down. And then you have the audio, right? That's a whole different thing, where this time it's mixed in Dolby Atmos, you know. So it's like, I would go just for the audio, since I'm an audiophile myself. Sure. It would just be awesome to hear that kind of sound in a place like that.
And fortunately, this film is documenting the band at a high. You're playing to 16,000 people in an arena. It's your stage, so you weren't sharing the stage with an opener or that kind of a thing where half your equipment couldn't be used. It's maximum on every level possible. Did you film multiple shows and this was the best one, or all the eggs were in the basket for this one show?
Well, that is a good question. I mean, this was really a show that we focused on for a long time before, but also, like, to be honest, what you see is the tour. What's in the movie that was every night.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's the tour to handle tours, you know. It was, so we didn't add anything extra for just that specific show, if you know what I mean. Like that is the tour. It was like that. I mean, it was the biggest arena of that tour, like the biggest headline show. It's a good arena, so like practically it's easier to do a production like that, because it's just a good place to do it, you know. And we always had a special relationship, I feel, with the Dutchies in that sense. So it was one of those nights, dude, like we walked off stage and I think all of us, you know, okay, wow, that was a really good one. You know, it felt good. It was a lot of fun, and it just felt like everything from the set list to the crew to, you know, the whole chain, right? It really worked out so well that night. So I'm super happy that we got it recorded. And I can't wait to hear what people think about it.
Well, as I said, this documents you playing a huge arena. Right now, you're playing arenas with Judas Priest around the U.S. So simply put, you are in an arena band. Did you know years ago that this was going to be a long-term arena band?
No. No, I did not. Could have, you never know, right? You never know. Am I super grateful for it? I am. And you know, like we're out here with Judas Priest now for the technically third time, right? But second leg of this tour. And, you know, I see them every night. I go out and see a couple of songs every single night. I grew up with that band. Scott is one of the main reasons why I started to play drums myself. So, yeah, it's a real pinch yourself in the arm moment, you know, and time just goes so quickly.
But being an arena band, I have to imagine as the drummer, so you're in the back of the stage, so you're very far away from the back row of the audience. Some drummers don't care about that. Others, it matters. For you, was it easy to transition to playing arenas?
It was kind of a gradual thing. I mean, we still do also smaller shows. Like we did a Swedish tour not too long ago, which was we did 50 shows back home. 49 of them were smaller. So I think we really enjoy both. You know, I can really enjoy those really sweaty clubs. And for me personally, like you say, if we play a festival and we have full production, I'm very, very far away from the first row or front row. And sometimes can't even see people's faces. So it becomes it's a total luxury problem, which I do understand, but it's just different. Like the interaction, I can really enjoy that too, you know? So yeah, but I like both.
Well, you personally, reading up on you, you're wearing a Thrasher sweatshirt right now. And I know that you grew up on skateboarding and punk before you were a metal person. But in terms of punk, what were some of your gateway bands? Were you more into UK punk or American punk?
For me personally, I got in, I would say, like, let's say punk and thrash. That's where it kind of came in for me, you know, like definitely Metallica, early stuff. You would have Black Flag in there. You know, I like that type of stuff. It went well with skateboarding and drumming also. There was kind of both. I did both at the same time, and then I realized if I fall on my ass too many times, it will be tough playing drums, which also happened. I broke my arm badly just when I got my first drum kit. So I had a cast on for months, dude. So it was a tough lesson to learn. So now I'm very careful, but I still do it.
And when it comes to, you know, you coming into the band with the more skateboarding background, that's kind of the opposite of military history, because military history is reading and reading and reading and memorizing, and skateboarding is very improv, very, this is what I feel like doing right now, and you being the person doing it. Did that kind of get you into this band where they went, we don't need another military history person. Let's get the exact opposite?
Okay, that's a very interesting take on the whole thing. No, I don't think so. I think it was more simple than that. You know, we knew each other from before because Sabaton were supporting my old band in the States, Evergrey at that time, and we got to know each other on that tour. And kind of, you know, me, Per, and Joachim, and also the production manager Johan, got along very, very well back then. So it was more like, we need a drummer. Are you up for it? And then for me coming into the band, not being a history buff, if you will, I always thought that history was very important. I always find it very interesting, but I wouldn't buy a book back then, you know, to dig deeper. But joining this band where you have two people that are it's a very genuine interest and a passion, which is, they were very into that stuff, you know, and that rubs off, right? If a person is very passionate about something, it rubs off. So all of a sudden I found myself, you know, buying books and seeing documentaries and digging in deeper to the songs. And yeah, I love it, dude. I love going down rabbit holes, and I think there's so much to be found.
Yeah, it really dispels a lot of the stereotypes, because the average person who isn't into metal seems to, for some reason, still think that heavy metal people are not intellectuals, not capable of being intellectuals. But your band, I don't know if they come much smarter than Sabaton.
What do you mean, defense?
Well, I mean, in general, I'm talking about the band, and then I guess also the fans, because if they're paying attention to the lyrics and they understand the significance, it's
Right.
educational music at the same time.
Right. Well, it is if you want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the choice there is nice because if you are into it, there's plenty of options to dig deeper. You can go to Sabaton History Channel, you can look up the song White Death, and you can go read about Simo, and go get the documentaries, the books, or whatever you want.
Sure.
But if you want to listen to heavy metal and drink good beer, you are also more than welcome. That's also fine. I know a lot of people who's like, yeah, history is not my kind of thing, but I like the music. Okay, cool. You are more than welcome to join.
They like the melodies and the power around it. Yeah, okay.
Totally, well, yeah.
3 quick questions, and then I let you go. And the first question is, this is such a big event, having 2 nights of theatrical presentations of your documentary over a big tour. After this, does the band go away for a little bit and go quiet, or is there another album in the works and you're thinking about the next tour?
Right. So what we are focusing on right now is the first European release of the Tour Trendle Tours, the movie, which comes out 11th of October, which is crazy. It's a couple of days, dude. And then a couple of weeks later in North America and the rest of the world. And then this tour here with Judas Priest on the second leg of their Invisible Shield tour. That's enough focus for us right now.
Fantastic. Next question. In terms of your band's success, it's interesting that it's different levels of popularity by different country. Like some countries, you are a huge theater band. Other countries, you're an arena headliner. Other ones, you're an arena co-headliner, etc. Does that mean that you have different sets of equipment and different plans? For example, here is our Europe club rig, here is our US arena rig. Do you have those kinds of setups?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I have never got this before. Yes. There are A rigs and B rigs and this rig and that rig and this thing and that thing. And yeah, man, so practically it has to be like that. Also, as you know, we have two tanks, so we can simultaneously ship things here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a logistical thing for sure.
Smart people doing smart things. And
maybe
the last question I have is a compliment. And it's that you and your wife, both in very successful bands of the hard rock variety, holding it together, you're known to be a family man and all that. But I find that when you have a couple that is in the same industry, they talk about everything except that work, that industry, when they're in their free time. What do you and your wife talk about? What are you both passionate about besides hard rock?
Death metal.
So when it's not metal, it's metal.
Everything, dude. Everything. Food, nature, animals. You know it. No, it's they're the regular stuff. To be honest, nothing crazy. But I mean, it would be music is we live and breathe that stuff. So naturally, it will come to that.
It always comes back to metal. Well, thank you for the decades of great music, Evergrey into this current band as well, which you're now a veteran of, and looking forward to the next time you're playing in New York, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the movie.